going on, everyone? So, according to Anthony Irwin, the Los Angeles Lakers are looking for a consolidation trade, basically looking to kind of open up a roster spot as well as kind of clear off some salary. Now, I know some people, Anthony Irwin, right? However you feel about the situation, this isn't like some crazy far-fetched thing. This is something that, it's very obvious that they need to do, right? And the reason that it's obvious is because of the Lakers cap situation. They have a full 15-man roster. They still have their biannual exception, which they want to use. And even if they waive Shake Milton, they still can't use it, right? So right now, the Lakers are at exactly $195 million in expected or projected salary. The first apron, which the Lakers are hard capped at, is $195.9 million. So they're $900,000 under that threshold, right? Not only do you want to kind of keep flexibility in case, something happens, right? A player becomes available via buyout, or a player just doesn't work out and you want to waive them and bring them in, or knock on wood, an injury or something that's like, hey, we need another center, and you end up going and trying to get a center, and now you don't have the cap. There's a million things that could happen in which you want to have, at least $1.5 million to maybe $2 million in kind of flexibility, so you can bring a guy in if need be towards the end of the season, or again at the buyout market, like this guy that just comes out of left field where you're just like, wow, I didn't know that guy was going to be available, and now the Lakers can go and sign him and bring him in. Right, and especially now with this kind of new trend of players being bought out, so on and so forth, it makes sense that that would happen. Now, the Lakers do have, again, Shake Milton on a non-guaranteed. They do have Jordan Goodwin on a partial guarantee, but I'd imagine that the Lakers want to keep Jordan Goodwin. I would want to keep Jordan Goodwin. And you have until January before you need to make that decision, before he becomes fully guaranteed. And again, I don't want to get rid of Jordan Goodwin by any stretch, but again, you never know who's going to become available, right? If some guy that's just like, it's like, wow, right? Like, go get this guy, and you can end up landing him, and it's like, this guy's exactly, pick your favorite player type thing, right? So you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So the Lakers going and pulling off a consolidation trade is something that I think is expected regardless of, where it's being reported, who the source is from. Just think it's something that makes sense for the Lakers, and I do expect the Lakers to do. Now, I don't necessarily think the Lakers are going to do it in a, like just dump, right? Like, here's Gabe Vincent and 2 pick swaps, right? I don't think that they'll do something like that. Maybe, right? My guess is if the Lakers do that, they try to do it in the way that they tried to do it with Mark Williams, where you go and trade for a guy in Mark Williams and then also attach a guy and his salary in that trade, right? Which was Cam Reddish. So my guess is that the Lakers would do something like, okay, Andrew Wiggins, you want a Dalton Connect and a Rui Hachimura. Okay, well, we also want you to take Jared Vanderbilt or something like that to get off of his long-term money and clear $10 million off our books so we can go do X, Y, and Z. Right? Like something like that where it's like, okay, we'll give you what you want, but you also got to do something for us to take this. Right? That's kind of where I look at it with the Lakers. That's kind of something that I see potentially happening. And, it would make sense for the Lakers to kind of try to pull something like that off if they can. They can find a move that lands a player as well as clears off salary rather than just doing a salary dump. Also, Lakers don't have a ton of tradable assets, right? Like, it's not like they have 3-4 second-round picks that they can trade. Usually that's what teams want. Like, oh, we'll take, Maxi Kleber from you, but we want 2 second-round picks, and then the Lakers give up the second-round picks. The Lakers don't have that. So how many teams are lining up to take pick swaps from the Lakers? Probably not very many, unless a team really likes, a Maxi Kleber, or a team is like, man, Gabe Vincent would be great as like a bench guy for us. So yeah, sure, we'll take him, and he's an expiring contract. If it doesn't work out, no loss to us, and then we'll just take the pick swaps, right? Maybe the Lakers can work something like that out, but realistically speaking, unless like Rui, like I can see teams, some of these teams that have cap space being like, hey, we'll take on Rui because he's a really good bat, but then that's your most valued tradable asset, right? So it's like, how do you replace it? Just, again, like my guess is it's going to be something where, it's within the thick of a trade. It's going to be something where it's, like I mentioned, you land a player on top of X, Y, and Z guy, right? And you clear, 5 million, 10 million, whatever off your books. So that's kind of what I would look out for in the wake of that type of trade. But I do think, it's just my opinion, I think that the Lakers are going to be patient. A lot of talks about them kind of waiting, holding out for Bradley Beal. Several teams are, it's not just them. That Bradley Beal kind of has everyone on hold for the moment. He's expected to be bought out in the next, day or so. I mean, while you're watching this video, maybe he's already been bought out. But he's expected to be bought out, and a lot of the teams that are trying to go and get, other guys that the Lakers are interested in, DeAnthony Melton, Malcolm Brogdon, guys like that, they're all waiting around for Bradley Beal, because if any of those teams get Bradley Beal, well, then they don't need a Malcolm Brogdon and DeAnthony Melton, so on and so forth. Also, if you're the Lakers, you want to wait until you get that Bradley Beal confirmation before you go make a move or make a play, right? Because yes, you need that move regardless, but your move might be different based on if you land Bradley Beal or not, right? Like, if the Lakers land Bradley Beal, they don't really necessarily, maybe they still want him, but they don't necessarily need a DeAnthony Melton or a Malcolm Brogdon as much anymore. They need kind of bigger, more sizable athletic wings, right? So maybe now they are more incentivized to go do an Andrew Wiggins trade. Maybe now they are more incentivized to go and try to pony up to get a Herb Jones or something like that. Guys that come to mind. Go get a better backup center, right? Like, everything could change for the Lakers based on what kind of moves happen. And then also the buyout market, period. There's more and more names that are, like, every day it's like there's a new influx of names that are, linked to potentially being bought out. So if you're the Lakers, you want to kind of wait and see what becomes available, right? Because if, a Chris Middleton becomes available, right, I would still want an Andrew Wiggins, but now that gives you a little more leverage to now go and have those conversations and negotiate for an Andrew Wiggins of, like, hey, now we're not dead. Like, we got Chris Middleton, right? We'd love an Andrew Wiggins, but now it's not something that is as big of a pressing need as it was earlier, right? We can just ride with Chris Middleton and take the risk on, his health and all that stuff. So depending on how things shape up, could kind of dictate what direction the Lakers go. I do expect the consolidation trade regardless, but again, like, can you find that in the mix of a trade? Can you find that in the thick of things? If a Nikola Vucevic becomes available, right, which Chicago, there's reports that Chicago may end up, if they can't trade him in the next month or so, may end up buying him out. Well, he might go, like, I want to go to the Lakers, right, and I'll be the backup for the Lakers behind DeAndre Ayton. And well, now you don't need your back. Now you don't need to go trade assets for a backup center, right? So now again, maybe you're doing a consolidation trade in the thick of trying to acquire that perimeter help and maybe an upgrade at the 3 in the starting unit, stuff like that. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.